Have you ever felt that no matter how much you plan and organize your schedule, you are always late? Isn't it a tiring thing? It has become clear in our minds that the completion of a productive production requires a strict management every moment of our day. But is this concept accurate from a scientific point of view? In a deep study presented by the writer David Kadavy in his book, it confirms that the essence of success does not consist in trying to accumulate more tasks in our daily schedule, but in cooperating with mental abilities and working them in a similar way. When Kadavy faced the challenge of writing his book, he discovered a fundamental truth through his personal experience that is based on the effective management of mental energy, not just the organization of time. Through the coordination of tasks with the mental conditions, he was able to achieve significant achievements in his book project. Welcome to the Audiobook channel. If you're looking for inspiring and useful content, we are here to present to you the best we have. We present tips on self-development, reviews of books, and many exciting content, which will help you achieve your goals. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to receive all new videos. Join us in this enjoyable journey and share your ideas and comments in the videos. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you on the channel. The mental state of the dead. David Kadavy is an exceptional example in the world of professional writing. He did not imagine himself as a writer at the beginning of his career, and writing was not of his main interests. However, a very tempting offer to write a book that changed his life path fundamentally, in defense of his professional commitment, he set out to rebuild his life completely to achieve this goal. He strategically specified his time savings, leaving behind his social obligations and entertainment activities, which were his whole efforts to achieve this ambitious project. Unlike many writers who enjoy an automatic creative momentum, David faced many challenges in writing. Despite his long hours of writing in front of the computer screen, he was unable to produce the required content. With the final appointment to submit the book, the pressure on him increased, and he became very afraid of the expectations of his social and professional environment. In a decisive step, he decided to participate in a training course in Costa Rica, hoping to renew his creative power. And in a crucial moment, the coincidence gathered him with Diego, a local and rich person, who exchanged with him a casual conversation in Spanish. Despite the simplicity of this meeting, but he made a radical transformation in his mental state, which enabled him to complete the first chapter of his book in 1 hour. Through this inspiring experience, David reached a fundamental conclusion. Success in writing does not depend on time management as much as it depends on the preparation of the mental state. The effective management of the mind goes beyond just focusing on tasks to the tools of thinking and the dynamics of creativity. When you face a task that seems to be a burden, the methodology of mind management provides an innovative approach. Instead of questioning what can be achieved in the coming time, you invite us to discover tasks that coincide with our current mental state. The balance of mental energy with the requirements of work represents the key to achieving the ideal productivity and avoid the loss of valuable resources. The point of perfect creativity is that the development of creative abilities requires a scientific methodology, not just a natural skill that some people possess without them, or musical composition or formative arts. According to the writer David Kadavy, creative thinking can be classified into two main categories: the abstract and the near-reaching thinking. The abstract thinking appears in the stage of discovering multiple and diverse ideas, while the near-reaching thinking appears when organizing and linking these ideas in a consistent frame. Let us take creative writing as an exemplary example. When we are writing, we face many strategic options. Do we adopt an official approach or prefer a dialogue? Do we reveal our identity or keep it secret? This stage is the embodiment of the distant thinking, while the near thinking is reflected in making the final decision and choosing the right path, which are faced by the mechanical and temporal conditions of creativity. The creative process is not just a methodical process that can be followed, but a visual process that is characterized by the moment of surprising inspiration. And the scientists of the nerves confirm that this visual moment represents a turning point in vision and a reform of the view. This creative moment, which some call the moment of eureka, represents the core of the creative process, where ideas are displayed and vision is fully clear. Whether that is in the creation of a musical piece or the invention of a narrative. Discover your own point of creativity. Achieving the same performance is more than just choosing a certain time of the day. It is about deep understanding of the levels of energy and concentration required to achieve the highest productivity. Whether it is work meetings, social interactions, or creative activities, a great deal of our energy. Therefore, it becomes necessary to determine that period in which our abilities are at their peak. It requires the coordination of the working modes with the daily maintenance of our biological clock, which controls the sleep and wake cycle. Day-long climb, where the wake increases with time, affects the amount of rest we get. When we do not have enough sleep, sleep debts accumulate, which leads to a noticeable decline in energy levels. This explains our feeling of insomnia around the second and half hour of the night, when the biological clock stops with the accumulation of sleep debts. The deep understanding of the biological clock, we can improve our focus management with high efficiency. Studies have shown that most people achieve the highest production levels in the morning. We find an example of this in the special, where the morning represents the time of the morning prayer for most individuals. To honor your contribution from the time of your own creativity, David presents the first hour strategy. This strategy enhances the tightness of the first hour of the day for the first hour of the day. And it's not just any project, but it must be the highest project in the priority list. The focus of this project at the beginning of the day increases the high possibility of achieving it. This approach is not a theoretical example, but a reality that can be applied. By starting today with the most important task, we reduce the likelihood of delay and avoid possible consequences before they occur. The fourth stage of creativity. The practice of creativity is beyond the time limit for writing or drawing. The mind continues to work on creative projects even in the times of apparent rest. It is important to realize that creativity does not stop at those moments in which we sit at our offices holding creative work tools. The famous psychologist Graham Wallace has presented us with 4 main stages of creativity that form a map of a comprehensive road that leads us through the journey of creativity. The first stage is preparation. The whole planning process for your project requires a thorough analysis and a strategy for all its main elements. And The time period for your musical piece and the materials chosen for your artwork form a fundamental foundation for the success of your work. This stage is a deep intellectual discovery where you turn into a mobile knowledge center that collects and analyzes the necessary information for your project. We can witness the exciting experience of David Kadavy, who followed a similar strategy in writing his book, which is displayed in his meetings in the middle of his books, newspapers, and magazines to confirm the importance of the information-seeking stage. His whiteboard, which is filled with ideas and initial plans for the sections, shows the value of this organized approach. His research was not just a waste of time, but a necessary investment to move to the next creative stage with confidence and confidence. Incubation. This is the phase where you step away from actively working on your project. You might focus on something else or spend time with friends and family. Taking breaks is essential. Forcing yourself to complete a task immediately doesn't always work. In fact, it can lead to frustration and anger, making it harder to reach your creative peak and transition to the third stage. The third stage is lighting. The decisive moment in the process of creativity is reflected in that surprising inspiration that comes as a special mental light. This phenomenon, despite its difficult interpretation in a Manhachic way, represents a point of fundamental transformation in the creative path. However, the achievement of this exceptional moment requires a precise and well-trained preparation in the stage of lighting, is a fundamental condition for reaching this advanced stage. Let us contemplate on an inspiring experience from the world of music that embodies this concept clearly. One of the contemporary music masters witnessed an exceptional creative moment when he woke up from his sleep and was inspired by a distinctive melody. This musical inspiration, which led to the creation of a permanent musical work. But this success was not a coincidence, but was the result of years of continuous experience and practice in the field of music writing. This perfect preparation is what enabled him to properly record and edit that creative moment, stage 4, achievement. In this critical stage, we are given a systematic and in-depth evaluation of the ideas that are being created during the creative inspiration stage. The precise and accurate analysis of the idea is a fundamental matter to confirm its origin and originality and its speciality. Let's take a clear example of the talented musician who faced a challenge in achieving the originality of his music. By defending professional and intellectual to be detailed and detailed. Investing this period in the processing and deprecation of all elements of musical work, from the melodies to the words and arrangement. The commitment to a systematic creative methodology and the specificity of sufficient time for each stage of its stages is a fundamental condition for the production of unique works of art. Each stage represents a vital link in the series of comprehensive creativity and exceeds any of them, may have a negative effect on the quality of the final product and its artistic value. The 7 mental states of creative work. Mr. David Kadavy did not follow a strict or specific approach in his creative production, but he relied on exercises and strategic places that would facilitate his access to the mental state of writing. On the face of the matter, he was ranked the 95th in the John Hancock Center with an organization to schedule his notes in his personal notebook. Despite his initial thoughts, the book was a must-see for discovering the necessary elements to enrich his book. This place has been effectively organized and achieved the desired clarity. It is worth mentioning that the Cafe Ipsento coffee was his favorite, where the private views were mixed with the deep coffee taste to create a perfect environment for creative work. As is the case with Mr. Kadavy, you can combine different working modes with diverse mental states, as your mental state is divided into 7 main states. First, the mental state is the priority. This is the stage you focus on planning, deciding what to do and how to do it, as well as determining what is important and what is not important. This is what David did during his time at the John Hancock Center, where he placed priorities and planned for his writing. Second, the psychological discovery. This case is not about organized research. It is about allowing your curiosity to wander freely without feeling guilty or strict expectations. For example, you may want to draw something, but you are not sure what to draw. While searching for inspiration, you may find yourself watching a documentary about the history of drawing, which allows your curiosity to take you wherever it wants. Third, the mental search case. In this case, you're looking for specific answers to specific questions. David himself often finds himself in this situation, looking for how to structure a chapter or to achieve the facts that he claims to guarantee in his book. Fourth, the creative mental state. This is the stage in which you create. It is the stage in which you take the ideas that you have collected in previous stages and put them into work, whether that is with the first copywriter or the first design. This is the practical creative work. Fifth, the mental state of beauty. In this stage, you are minimizing and liberating what you have created. You must be logical and make sure there are no unwritten parts on the board, or change the colors that may need to be lighter or darker. Everything that involves improving your work. Sixth, the mental and administrative state. You cannot focus on creative work all the time. There are other responsibilities that require attention, such as paying taxes or spending time with your family, because it allows you to balance your creative life with other aspects of your life. 7. The mental state for renewal. Sometimes you need to take a break from rest and renew yourself. Whether it is taking a holiday, going on vacation, or even getting a massage, as David does when he feels nervous, this state helps you relax and renew your activity. Even watching funny videos or movies can help you calm your mind and renew your creative power. By getting to know these mental states and learning how to work within them, you can improve your own creative process and stay a producer while avoiding harassment. The difficult situation. David found himself in a difficult situation. He decided to have a meeting with Dr. Rook for his voice program, a character that was a great inspiration for him. Dr. Rook wrote a book, Your Mind in Work, which helped David understand how the mind works in creative work. David considered Dr. Rook as his best example. But on the day of the meeting, he came up with several challenges. First, there were construction works in the apartment that David rented, and the noise didn't stop for the whole day. It was the worst environment possible to record a voice program. Secondly, David moved to Panama City to work on his book, and he didn't know the neighborhood well enough to find a quiet place to hold the interview. Thirdly, David knew that returning to the interview schedule was impossible. A famous person like Dr. Rook was always busy, and this was an unprecedented opportunity. It was clear that the result would be decided by David to cancel the voice program. Nothing was going as planned that day. But then something happened. His creative system activated, and David wrote an email to Dr. Rook in a way that made him feel sad. He faced every problem directly and found solutions to every challenge he faced. In the end, David was able to successfully record the interview with Dr. Rook. The creative system. The creative system is a repeatable process that helps you progress in your creative work. It is designed to guide you through every step while maintaining your mental power. You can think of the creative system as a curtain covering your creative roles and stages of creativity. It is a complete process. In the heart of the creative system is the lowest limit of the creative. This is the smallest and simplest step you can take to preserve your creative work. For example, if you're a writer, the creative focusing on this small task helps you balance your other priorities while continuing to progress. The benefits of open circles. Creative works also benefit from open circles. For example, when you feed your cat, you may notice that the food is on the face of the cat. You record in your mind a moment to buy more cat food from the store. This is an open circle because it continues to rotate in your mind even while you're doing other tasks. You take open circles as a space in your brain, even though this may seem like a bad thing. But open circles are useful in reality for your creativity. They keep your projects alive in your mind, which helps you to continue to progress. Let's go back to the example of writing. If you wrote only one part of your book, this creates an open circle in your mind that you can return to the next day or after. As time passes, you will continue to add more parts to that original part. Even if you do not spend your whole day in writing, you will not feel guilty. As long as you move forward, you will keep the crowd and avoid the loss of progress. The creative system and the removal of excuses is that you can have several open episodes at the same time. It may be one episode that involves developing your story, while another one may involve a character behind it. Also, the creative system can cancel the warnings. You can't say that you don't have time because the creative rush of life takes only a few minutes. With this method, you will always find a way to continue your creative journey, regardless of how busy life is. The end. We have presented a deep view of the management of the strategy for mental abilities to achieve the highest levels of productivity and creativity. The effective mental management is focused on harmonizing with the mental state of every task. Instead of imposing a strict schedule, we adopt a more wise approach that monitors the psychological state of every work. In the implementation of the perfect mental management, through balanced gathering between cognitive and cognitive thinking, we open the field for exceptional, inspiring moments which lead to unique creative achievements. Studies have proven that in the morning time, it represents the production of many due to the clean mind, and pour the clean mind, and pour the clean mind a comprehensive and free system to achieve exceptional results and complement the 7 mental states: priority, discovery, research, creativity, degeneration, management, and renewal to form a complete frame for creative work. The creative role plays a pivotal role in achieving the balance between the time of intensive work and the necessary rest. This role enables us to determine the best time frame for each individual, whether weekly, monthly, or seasonal. The creative system represents the complete organizational frame that directs the creative process completely. This methodological system provides a map of a clear path for each stage of the creative process, with detailed instructions on how to implement it. In our fast-paced era, where everyone is trying to achieve more in less time, we must remember the value of dedication and care in the creative process. The real distinction requires patience, and we must always remember that great achievements deserve waiting. Let us take every step in this creative journey and allow our creativity to evolve according to its natural rhythm.